Hello everyone, tylovsims here, and welcome back to Let's Build My Dream House Part 3. There have been a number of changes, namely because I started building on this and forgot to hit record. So I'll do a quick little run through of some of the little changes, and then we'll hop in with the landscaping. Yeah. So I had a chance to look through some of the comments from the last videos, and remember how I totally complained about this roof piece not being here? One of you reminded me that you can actually just delete that roof piece entirely and extend these eaves, and it does the exact same effect. So that is totally my bad. Thank you very much for pointing that out, and I will redact my previous complaint that it is not possible. But don't worry, it's The Sims, so I'm sure I'll have something else to, drone on about in a little bit. But yeah, so that was the number one main change. You'll notice that I did throw in where the solar panels are, and I built a garage. So that's kind of the two major differences. I also rejigged how this whole setup went. Like, this door was here, and when I was looking down at this area, there was just too many doors. Like, I wanted the front door to be really well defined. So I eliminated the number of doors and I swapped it out for this door here to make it look more like a front door that guides you to it. And then the office over here, we have like my desk and a couple of storage settings, a little painter's stand. This is the Murphy bed that comes down, so that way we have space for the guests. And I just think it's a really nice, chill little vibe. And I threw in the laundry room too, which in retrospect is kind of nice because like this door was here, and having to go outside of either of these things just to go do the laundry seemed a little bit iffy to me. So now it makes a lot more sense. And then in the garage, I literally just threw in some gym equipment because to me that's what goes into a garage with some storage. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it for the changes. So I think we're just gonna dive right into landscaping. Now, it makes, I think it makes sense, but I really love being outdoors. That's kind of the whole inspiration of this house. So for this exterior, I really want to pay attention to how this reflects the interior, in addition to like just being a really nice place to be. But we need to be mindful with these panels of where we're placing trees and things like that. Like if it's here, then that just blocks our solar. So I'm gonna be mindful of where these go. But yeah, I think for the outside, I don't like lawns. That might be kind of controversial for some folks because, I mean, in this day and age, like the lawn has become like such a status symbol, and everything else that goes with that. It's kind of like, you picture the white picket fence and the lawn, and for me, I just don't have time for that. It's too much maintenance. There's just a lot that goes into a lawn that I just can't be bothered with. And my dream is not to look after tons and tons of acreage, although I do clearly like having a big lot. But because of that, I kind of want this to be relatively forested. So I'm gonna go fairly forest heavy here. Like with these rocks there, you can't really see a view anyway. So I'm gonna focus the view out that way. So I think I'm just gonna go a little wild with trees on this side of the place. And I'm not too worried about the solar panels on the garage, because in my head, these panels here are just for the garage and the power demand wouldn't be too big on that. So I'm not overly worried about how those ones would fare. But anyway, yeah, it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while since I released my last video. In Canada, it was our Thanksgiving last weekend, and I went away with my family, and we went on this really nice camping trip. There's a national park that's relatively close to where we are. It's Kujibawak National Park. If you haven't checked it out, you totally should. It's beautiful. And anyway, I took a bunch of pictures and stuff that I'll throw up on my Instagram. So if you want to check those out, you totally can. But it was just a really nice time away. Like out in nature, got some really cool inspiration. It's fall here in like in New Brunswick on the East Coast, so with that, like all of the colors are out, and it's just really pretty. Honestly, it reminds me a bit of Brindleton Bay, like the setting that we're around right now. Only, I would say our colors are more vibrant. This reminds me a little bit more of like New England kind of deal. Up, we're a little bit further north. Our colors pop a little bit more, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. It was really nice. Lots of campfires, a few hikes. So it was good. I mean, like we had the dogs with us too, so that's always a fun time. They're a handful, but it's cool to be around them. So yeah, if you are up like up in Canada and do celebrate Thanksgiving, I know not everybody does, but if you do, what did you get up to? Like, did you have a big meal? Was it turkey, ham, chicken? We do chili. Chili is kind of our vibe, but yeah, it's fun. I like the Thanksgiving season. So yeah, I kind of like how this is all framing in. I'm gonna pull this elm tree, put a couple more of these around here somewhere. Maybe in here. I don't really have any rhyme or reason with why I place things the way I place things with landscaping. I kind of just go for it and trust that it will work out. I actually don't like where that tree is. Like, this is a little too repetitive for me. Whereas if I were to swap it for something like maybe this one, the subtle difference, like this color kind of matches these colors here, but the shape of it reminds me of this one, so it almost mimics it a little bit. So that's kind of where I go with these kinds of things. And I'll throw that one up here. So there are a few roads around where I live now that are really, like, the trees almost come over them, like a canopy kind of deal. So I want to mimic that just at the entryway a little bit. It's not really reading in The Sims, but that's okay. That's kind of why I want the trees to be really close to there. And then I'll just go through and swap all these colors. Yeah, sure, that's better. It's I always like getting to this part of the builds. I don't like I'm not a huge fan of doing the more like nitty-gritty landscaping stuff like I'm doing now, but it's always exciting because it really brings your builds to life, especially when you start doing little things like this and just kind of have the ground itself in real life isn't flat. So if I can add a little bit of I think they're called berms. If you like build up the ground a little bit like that, it's kind of called a berm. So if you can add a few of those and then throw some trees around them, I think it can really make a difference for your Sims builds. And we're gonna like put a whole bunch of terrain paint all over this. So I love the terrain painting. It's almost like it's kind of therapeutic, terrain painting, to be honest. You can just kind of go for it and see what happens. And I'm gonna build this up because we do have our primary bath right there. So with the primary bath there, I'm gonna build this up a little bit. Just over here. Go up fairly tall with it, and then, nope, that, I took away a little bit too much of that. Where's my brush softness and speed? That's a little better. Oh, I am just realizing now that I have never heard the sound effects for these terrain paint tools until just now, and they are wild. I don't know how to feel about them. Like, that's just, oh, it's such a weird sound. Anyway, I might have to like change around those sound settings just because that's, I like the other sounds that The Sims has, but that one there, I don't know. See, I found it. Haha. I can't really complain about the roof thing now, so now I'm going to complain about the terrain paint noise. Haha. We found something. There we go. But, yeah. I think something like that will be cool. And then we'll landscape out over there. A few more trees. Always trees. I like trees. This is so random, but I did, we did this little, like, this is when I was a lot younger. There was this whole, like, kind of earth ship mover thing to try and, like, get youth involved in, like, conservation and everything. And they, like, I actually hugged a tree. You had to, like, go out and find a tree that you really liked, and you had to just hug the tree and say thank you to it. So I actually have hugged a tree. Such a random story, but yeah, it was like some movement thing that they were doing around here to keep us like outside, and it was like a big, there's like a scavenger hunt thing where I had to like go and identify like what trees they are. I don't remember how to do most of that now, but it was fun at the time, and I don't know, I just remember hugging a tree. So, yeah, I think they're cool. I'm gonna throw a few of these in. I like the kind of contrasting colors that these have. And just dot a few of these around. In real life, these trees are a little tightly packed. It would, like they might not quite grow this way in real life, but I don't know, maybe they do. So yeah, I think that's all the trees I'm gonna put in. And then for over here, I think we're just gonna get into the terrain painting. Oh, whoops. Wrong thing. That's what I wanted. So for terrain painting, I always turn the brush strength like semi down, and I just kind of go for it and hope that it'll make sense. I think we've long established that sometimes you just have to go for it and see how it turns out. Sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not. But the only way to know is to just try it. Like over here, I think that's a little too not great. There we go, that's a little better. So we'll go all the way around here. It's just kind of like, I don't know, dirt, mossy grass stuff. That made no sense. That made no sense at all. Dirt, mossy grass stuff. Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out like what I want in the yard. I mean, I'm not a huge, me personally, I'm not a huge fan of a pool. My partner loves a pool. But to be frank, they're very expensive. They're expensive to upkeep and they're expensive to maintain. And in our climate, I don't think you get the opportunity to use it as much as maybe is warranted. So I'm not a big fan of pools, but I know that he is. So since it's The Sims, I think I will put a pool in. But I'm more of the hot tub person. I love hot tubs, but I want a wood fire one. If you can like get them, you can get them anywhere really, but like when you're off grid, I think it makes so much sense to have a wood fire hot tub. And like they have them at like they're called glamping spots. Like I don't know if you've seen like I think they're everywhere. There's like dome camping sites and things like that are all over the place. And that's like I stayed at one once a million years ago, and they had a wood fire hot tub, and I was kind of like I kind of fell for it, and I really do want one, but we don't have those in The Sims. And the only hot tub that I do have is the like anniversary that shall not be named hot tub that The Sims gave us that has the roof over top of it, which I mean it's nice, and there's one swatch that I think it looks really good in, but I don't think it really fits the vibe of the rest of this like the rest of this house, so that one's likely out. Whoops, there we go. We'll get there eventually. But I don't know, this feels like riveting content, me just sitting here rambling on about pools and painting under each of these trees individually. It's really great content that's coming through here. So, but you know, I think it's all part of the process. For over here, I think I'm just gonna put a really big brush size and bring that right down, and I'm just gonna like scribble over here. This is honestly how I do it. I just kind of scribble and hope, because I mean in real life this would be what happens, right? So I usually go around every tree, and then once I'm around the trees, I'll do this like super light dusting underneath them, because when you have all that shade, grass just wouldn't grow under it. So this is kind of a, for me at least, it adds a little touch of realism that I'm here for. Okay, now in here, this would be kind of rocky in real life. So with this being a little rocky, I'm just gonna throw that in. And I'll throw it over top of this too. I'm hoping this will make sense. This will make sense eventually. I'll throw a little bit more on top of this. Like all these little berms that we did, I kind of want them to be almost like rocks. So we'll have just a few of them kind of through here. There we go. And then on the rocks, I'm going for, where are you? These little guys. So we'll just throw a few of those kind of all over there. Yeah, I don't know. I like being a little bit random with the landscaping. Just let it do its thing. I mean, I keep saying it, but it's kind of how it goes. Plants just grow everywhere. If it's not tamed and don't put a lot of effort into upkeep, plants will just grow everywhere. So, I don't know, it's kind of like that here. And then I'll throw a few of these kind of just around. Oh, whoops. I don't have my cheats on. I just noticed that. There we go. Woohoo, that's a lot better. I don't want to overdo it on that one. I'll just pop some around here. And then... sure, just a few of these, why not? Kind of fern plants. A couple of these little wild grasses. think that makes a little bit of sense. And then where's that other like really green one? Scale these down a little bit. Actually, that one's all right at that size. That's one thing that I'm so glad we have as a feature is the ability to scale objects up and down. With the move objects cheat on and the little square bracket keys, you can kind of like, you can do a lot, especially with landscaping. That's where I find that I use scaling the most. The only things that it doesn't really work on are side tables, if you want to put anything on the side tables. And I've noticed that mirrors, they're not all that great with mirrors. But apart from that, it's a really useful feature that I definitely use a lot. Just throwing some rocks down. Yeah, so it's kind of like that. And then I'll take one of these. No, those are too big. Where's that little tree? There's the little tree. Put that one there. And there's, you can kind of drive around that one. And then I like this one. Yeah. There we go. Then over there's okay. And I think I'll put a little bit more. Where's that? This one here. That one in there. Yeah. Yeah. Now I'm gonna get a little bit ridiculous and just see. No, I don't like that. I think it's gonna be less is more. I think I like the idea of less is more. I like how this approach looks and how you kind of just walk up and see it. I might put a few planters down the sides. That's actually probably a good idea. So just do space them out a little bit. So at least then there's some definition on here. Yeah, I think that worked out okay. Ooh. You're not even. Actually, none of these are even. Ha! There we go. Now they are. Sweet. So that's kind of, these will be our little like plants. My partner loves gardening. We have quite a few garden boxes at the moment. So having those there, I think they'd love that. And actually, having said that, I think I'm gonna put some garden boxes down this side too. So that way we have a few of them. Yeah, and I like it being here because the wind and stuff like that, like it kind of shelters them, but they still get sun. And then I'll just throw a few little veggie pads that I can, you know, potentially plant at some point. And maybe a couple herbs too. Yeah, we grow a lot in our garden. Although this year the deer got into it and I didn't get nearly as much out of it as we thought that we were going to. But that's okay. At least somebody got some use out of it. Alright, so for this pool, I think I'm just going to make a little pool. I don't think it needs to be very big. The whole house isn't very big, so I don't really see it as necessary. Yeah, I do kind of like that. One thing that I do love, though, with pools, or when there is a pool, is having some space around it for little, like, kind of lounge chairs and stuff like that. That's what I do like. So maybe could go that way with it. Oh, that's foundation. That's not little platform. This is the platform. So throw that on, and I can match it into the deck. There we go. And this kind of pathway kind of just maybe branch like that. There we go. Oh, that works. That works, and then we'll do it just a little bit more landscaping. Again, I'm not going to go too landscape heavy with it. It's just not really what we like. Just go a little bit more with this one. Around here. There we go. Yeah. I think this is going to turn out. I definitely don't claim to be the best landscaper in the world. My philosophy is throw some trees down, throw some terrain paint down, and call it a day. But I think that's alright. And then I might just go a little bit crazy with this. And just see what happens to fill this part in. So, just gonna go a little bit clicking. Just go a little wild with the clicking mouse button over here. We'll do a few more of these just for a little bit of flowers. Maybe some daisies through here too. And a couple of those just to round it out. Yeah, see, I think that's a little pretty. I think it's a little pretty. No, we haven't used those anywhere yet, so maybe I'll just stick to these. Yes, no, never mind. I'm gonna go back on that. We're gonna use these as well. Yeah. There's a little landscaping. Just a few rocks through here. So, yeah, I think that's all I'm gonna do. I am gonna decorate this up though. But landscaping wise, I think that's gonna be it. Just like the house, less is more. So with this pool, I prefer a dark pool. And yeah, that looks all right. So I prefer a darker pool. I don't know why, I just like the look of it. I think the lighter pools can look a little, I don't know, not fake, but they just don't look as polished, maybe? I don't really know. I just like the darker. I think the darker pool just makes it look a little bit deeper and more, like it just adds a contrast element that you don't really get with anything else. So, and then for out here, we have to have some type of a barbecue. A barbecue is needed. So there's a little barbecue. I really want rocking chairs. So we've got to put those down. rocking chair moment. Do I want them in a black against the house? In the summertime, that would be so hot to sit on. But, oh, maybe these orange ones. These orange ones are kind of cool. Yeah, I'm not really too worried about that blocking the window, because in reality, you'd be able to see over them. And for over here... maybe something like these. Yeah, something like that. With this is kind of fancy, but like, you know those fancy tables like this one that have the little fire in them? I don't know, maybe that's an indulgence that we can have it. No, it doesn't fit. Doesn't fit. Maybe I'll just go with these. Those kind of match this. Now, here's the next question. Do we want to look at the pool or do we want to look at the view? I'm on team view. Also, I think I'm going to make this a lot smaller. It is just the two of us after all. No, I think just having that there is all we need. And I'm just going to fill this right in and do the same kind of landscape treatment that over here has. Just to round it out a bit. Here we go. A few of those all through there. And where are the daisies? Just to round it out a bit. And I think that's going to be pretty much it for there. And up here on the hill, we need to have our chairs. We do a lot of campfires. A lot of campfires all summer. And I really like having people over when we have campfires, so I'll just put a few chairs up there. And maybe a couple of these. And we probably pile our wood here, so that way you don't have a very long walk, so we'd keep like a pile there. And then we'd probably have another pile. Honestly, probably right there. So that way it's pretty close and accessible to the house. Probably put some more over here by this side of the house. You kind of stick firewood wherever you can. And call it a day. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Honestly, I think this is it. This is the dream house. So that's where I want to leave it. Yeah. So essentially, like, you just come down the driveway here, park your cars if you want, come in through this little entryway. This is our front door. We've got the entrance here. I really like this a lot. Kitchen, dining, living. Through there we have our bedroom with the little library nook. And then you come on through to the ensuite. Cross the little dog trot In here, we've got like the office and everything. A little guest bathroom over here too. And then the laundry room with the pool and all that other stuff. Here's the floor plan if you would like to kind of see how it all fit together. And then there's a little gym back there. So yeah, I can't believe it. 4 parts, and we've managed to make it all the way to the end of my dream house. So thank you so much for sticking with me. I think this is a little bit of a longer video than I usually put out. But yeah, landscaping done, house is done, and I will see you all in the next build. I have a couple of projects that I'm planning. I think we're going to go over to do a couple of house tours from some past projects that I've done, and then maybe of those we can choose a few to renovate. But anyway, yeah, like, comment, follow me on Instagram if you want. I'm tylovsims everywhere, and yeah, let me know what you think, and we'll see you all in the next one.